Welcome to the Contrarians and welcome to Wednesday. Tonight is the Contrarians live chat. Tonight we are talking about album covers that revolve around dreams and sleep. Martin's back, so let's get ready. We want to hear from you in the chat. Let's go. Wow, we are back to normal. Martin's back. So welcome back, Martin.
Absolutely.
Nice
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of reliving old reviews that I rattled off this morning. So will those be starting to fire up tomorrow. So very cool.
So we should have a lot more content coming up on the Contrarians. So be looking forward to that. Anyway, tonight's panel, we've got Michael Ladonna, we've got Johnny Metal, of course, Martin and Jamie and myself. And we already have a graphic up that I guess I might talk first since already the graphic up. So idiot me, but we're going to go back to the way we used to do it. It's going to be great. We want to hear from everybody in the chat tonight. We want to keep it loose. We want to keep it interactive. And so we're basically talking about albums that have something to do with sleep or dreaming or something in that general area. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go me, Ladano, Johnny Metal, Martin, Jamie, and then back to me. And I'm going to lead it off, for God's sake. So my first pick, which really isn't my first pick, but we're going to go with it, is BTO Rock and Roll Nights. So we've got, there's a lot of partying going on in this photo. It kind of reminds me of another choice that Martin's going to show tonight. So it's kind of, this could have went in the Doppelganger episode.
Yeah.
But very similar, a lot of partying, woman on the bed.
A weird album with a compromised lineup, right?
Yeah.
Very strange record, yeah.
But it checks that box. My next one, I'm going to go with, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go with an artist. No one knows who this is. Jamie might know who this is, but this is Christina. She put out an album like in, the early 80s. You know, Madonna took off. She never took off. But when this album came out, it got a lot of critical praise. She recently passed away, I think, from COVID in 2020, but she had a lot of potential. They you have to go back, do some research, but this is a good record. It's a pop record. Actually, they consider her no wave because she did put out some stuff like in 78, 70, 79. But yeah, she's considered no wave. So you guys can check that out. Yeah. My next pick, I'm going to go with something no one picked. I'm surprised they didn't. Sting, The Dream of the Blue Turtles. Hey, if someone's dreaming, whether it's Sting or the Turtles. Hey, we're going to go with that. So that's my.
I had it in my honorable mentions.
All right, cool.
Nice.
All right, so throw it over to Martin. Do you want we
got a lot of people saying hello here, but we've got a few mentions we've got Elton John, Sleeping with the Past, but I think that's coming up a little later on. Caravan, for Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night. I got to figure which Mouse is in operation here. Oh yeah, Robin Trower and City Dreams. That's pretty cool. We've got Minor Threat, Out of Step, has about 24 sheep on the cover. Yeah, I was looking for sheep as well. I had an honorable mention for Pearl Jam Versus. We've got our obvious pick, Dream Evil. That's coming up as well. That's a good one. In the jazz realm, Undercurrent by Bill Evans and Jim Hall, says Blind Arthur Blake. What else we got higher up here? Just a bunch of people chiming in. All right, let's move on to Michael.
All righty. Well, as you guys may know, I always like to bring up my hometown band, Helix. So let's start with No Rest for the Wicked.
All right.
And we have the devil, kind of a more friendly looking devil than you usually get on these album covers, but he's got his little tail and he's got his horns and he's got a wife and looks like he's having some trouble sleeping. He's getting up to have a glass of water. And if you look really carefully, there's the helix on his end table there.
Nice.
But
we don't know the running joke here, Michael, right?
What's the running joke, Martin?
That looks exactly like Tim Durling.
I like
it. Really does look like Tim Darling.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get that out of my head now.
It really does, though.
But we don't have just one Helix. No. We have two because we also brought Eat, Sleep, Rock, which is one of the more recent albums. This is a compilation of some of their later music from Half Alive onwards. and we have look like little road signs: "Eat, Sleep, Rock." This cover was designed by former guitar player Dr. Brent Durner, and on the back cover, we have Brian Vollmer in bed with a bunch of records and a microphone, screaming into a microphone
Wait a minute,
in bed.
I'm making you big. I gotta see that.
Sure, there you go. Oh, he's got
Oh,
a flying
my
V
God.
guitar. He's got a microphone. He's got a whole bunch of records, and looks like some look more records, lots of them.
Hey, why not?
Nice.
All right, cool. There you go.
And someone mentioned Elton John sleeping with the past. So Mark,
There it is. Yes.
so look how peacefully he's sleeping there. And I always love these kind of fake sleep photos because he's so peaceful and everything, but in reality, he's like this, But there you go, Elton John sleeping with the past. There's my first three.
That's excellent.
Well, we've got a mention of Roy Orbison in Dreams from Al Val. We got D-Rockers brought Journey, Dream After Dream. Henry Wrights mentioned the Beatles, I'm Only Sleeping. Blind Arthur Blake again with Dreaming from the Waste, The Who. So yeah, lots of good ones coming in. Robert Wyatt Schleep album, says Henry Wright. Steve Miller Band, Book of Dreams. So yeah, they're pouring in. On to Johnny.
All right.
All right. Well, John the Music Nut and I, we did a show on this one. So Steely Dan, Royal Scam. I mean, you gotta love that garish cover here with the poor guy sleeping on the park bench and all these crazy buildings turning into monsters.
Very H.R. Geiger, eh?
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. But yes, hi, Marlon. Next up, let's bring a little metal into this, shall we? How about we talked about this old dude on the cover here for Face Warning's Parallels.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like he just pops up everywhere. He was either in the Metallica videos, he was in the Megadeth album covers. It just seems like he was always everywhere. But this time he's in bed asleep with some girl watching over him, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's a deathbed. I don't know.
Not sure
Anyway.
what that is.
Easy work, Johnny. Just
Easy
lie in
work.
bed.
That's right. Okay, how about a lesser known album from the Arizona thrash band Flotsam and Jetsam with Dreams of Death? I guess he's trying to maybe somebody who's dead and trying to crawl out of the grave, I guess. I don't know.
Or his head's shaped like a tombstone.
Or his head is shaped like a tombstone. Yeah, that's a song, isn't it? No, that's head hits. No, that's what's that? Crap, I screwed up my own joke. Never mind.
Not sure, but that album cover reminds me of Dream Theater, Train of Thought as well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does look like a Dream Theater album cover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well, let's Martin, you're up.
Okay,
Wait a minute, Johnny, that was 3, right?
Yeah,
that was 3.
Okay, Martin, you're up.
My first one is the one we used for the thumbnail, and it's the first one that came to mind. Black Sabbath, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. There's my little CD of it as well, but this is also to show the back. And the back is kind of Bill Ward explained this to me once. One is the big satanic ritual scene, and the other one's more of like what happens at death. And he says, I would like to die like that and be able to see all the loved ones and everything around. But I always I always thought, and I did a sort of a cutout thing of this and show it on Facebook once in a while. To me, that looks like if you look at the orange, it looks like Elvis Presley backwards with the collar, and the bottom is his jeans, and you don't see his head, sort of just standing there, kind of thing. So it's kind of hard to notice, but once you see it, you don't forget it. But I actually thought the very first one that came to mind was Black Sabbath, Paranoid. And then I thought even Never Say Die kind of reminds me of sort of a peaceful thing, or sleep, with those masks on, and then Technical Ecstasy as well. So a bunch of them kind of have that sort of dreamy quality to them. But this obviously is the craziest with the guy in the back, more so the peaceful end of it. And then I've got the Hounds Putting on the Dog, which is the one that of course looks a lot like the BTO one. The back cover, you've just got the dogs. The gal isn't there anymore. I always love bringing this one up because I think this album should have been a smash hit. This is such a joyous, interesting pop metal album with kind of extreme, very bright production, really interesting songs on it. It's got like 3 with animal titles in it: The Moth and the Fire, Horses, Spiders. It's got a cover of who'll be the next in line, Angel of Fire, a good heavy one on here. Really super interesting album. They only made 2 albums. The first one's really good as well. And then finally, I've got Grand Funk, Born to Die, The Ultimate Sleep, with the guys in the coffin, posing in the coffin. And this reminded me, because first thing I thought of was that great gatefold of We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. But then this is kind of the same thing, but it isn't quite as cool. But pretty creepy. And you would think, it takes some courage to do something like that, because you would think it's kind of like a Jinx kind of thing. And then, pretty crazy title too, Born to Die. Obviously, it's not that extreme of an album of any sort. So,
No.
so there you go. There's my first 3. And let's see what else we've got here. Uncle Meat is here, brings up Marillion Fugazi. We've got Dream Theater's Awake has a dreamy atmospheric cover for sure. Pablo Cruz, A Place in the Sun or Worlds Away. Van Morrison's Only a Dream, says Henry Wright. Kate Bush, The Dreaming, more on that later. Firefall, Luna Sea. What else we got here? Aldo Nova, Subject. Gary Wright, Dream Weaver, says Ken White. So more coming in. On to Jamie.
All right, Jamie.
All right, my first 3 are the first 3 that I thought of when we did this. And my first one I thought of. Rift by Fish. Always loved this album cover. It's just very dreamlike. Like the maze under him is the dream, and he's got to get through the maze to wake up. And the song on here, Maze, where they sing, "You'll never get out of this maze. You'll never get out of this maze," makes me think like they're saying, "You're never going to wake up. You're never going to wake up." So I don't know if that's how it's intended to be, but that's how I always took it.
Crazy. Yeah.
The second one I thought of was Megadeth, Rude Awakening, which is, I always liked it because it's kind of a ha-ha, jokey thing. And I think the joke is kind of funny, Rude Awakening. So
yeah,
that. And the third one I thought of is Low Hanging Fruit, and someone already thought of, said it in the chat. Dream Evil by Dio. Martin's favorite Dio album.
Absolutely.
I'll put it at 3. I'm putting it at 3, which is still pretty high behind Holy Diver and The Last in Line. And I have a really cool shirt with this on it. I might be wearing it Saturday in New York. I haven't decided yet. With all my shirts and these special occasions, I'm like a girl trying to pick out a prom dress. What to wear? Oh my goodness.
Because you're dressing for, you're dressing for all the other people, I guess.
Right. And
well, they always say that women
so want to have a good shirt on.
They always say women dress for other women.
Okay. Well, I'll be dressing for dudes.
Right.
Nice. Sweet.
Hate to miss that.
All right, back to Grant.
All right. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's do we did Sting. Oh, this one's low hanging fruit, and I'm surprised no one picked this. Neil Young. Sleeps with Angels. Neil Young and Crazy Horse. I don't know. Some people really like this record. Some people not so much. I'm not that crazy about the album cover, to be honest. But I think it's an all right record. But you can find it a lot in the cheapie bins. I will say that. My next one I'm going to go with. This is funny because I knew no one would choose this. Mickey Dolenz, Put You to Sleep, which is a kid's CD, and he does remakes of, well, you can read that.
Yikes.
Dream a Little Dream, Beautiful Boy. Yeah. But for some reason it popped into my head. Dream, Sleep. Mickey Dolenz.
What year did that come out?
I think 2001 maybe.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really targeted at us. But there you go. This is another artist you're probably going to see in the listing tonight, but I'm going to go with Frank Zappa, Sleep Dirt, which would that come out? 79? I mean, it's like what is it? Wasn't it a bootleg or something originally? And then he ended up finishing it or compiling it and then putting it out. I don't know. We're doing a Frank Zappa series on my channel, but we haven't gotten this far yet. So we'll look at it eventually. So my number 5.
Cool.
I guess.
All right. Looking at the comments, we got King Crimson Coda. I have a dream, says Henry Wright. D Rocker Klaatu 347 EST. Screaming Trees Dust, says TMC. This one blew my mind. Maury has mentioned Mercenary 11 Dreams. I haven't thought of Mercenary for a long time. Man, I interviewed those guys, I think. D Rocker brings up Star Castle self-titled, which, yeah, pretty good one. I mean, that kind of goes with the Richie Blackmore's Rainbow kind of dreamy look to that one. Great Megadeth pick, Jamie, says Jason. And we've got Alice in Chains Dirt. Yeah, there's a good one. Thanks for that one, Elder. Opeth's Blackwater Park. Yeah, lots of good ones coming in. All right, on to Michael.
All
right. So for my next batch, I maybe screwed up a little bit. I put a bunch of singles, but I mean, there's some pretty good tracks here, so let's go with it anyway. DAD from Denmark, Disneyland After Dark. Sleeping My Day Away. Highly recommend you check out this hard rocker from 1989. Music video is hilarious. Got the 4 guys in one bed together, and the bass player wears a white helmet that shoots fireworks, and he plays a bass with only 2 strings with a little teeny tiny neck. Fantastic song, though. You hear this song coming up a lot when you talk about 1989. Great
It's
tune.
very interesting, the musical path those guys took. They started off almost hair metal-ish, and then they kind of went into like alternative rock and indie rock, and then kind of like stoner rock in a way. So they've been all over the place.
And Jamie, before this, they were sort of like twangy country hair metal. Like they did 2 indie records in Denmark before this. This is
you can hear it on you can still hear that on No Fuel Left for the Pilgrim.
You sure can. And that's the album. Yes, exactly. Big fat body guitar.
Yeah.
But yeah, no Fuel for the Pilgrims is the album to check out. Highly recommended you check out DAD.
Did you say Disney After Dark?
Disneyland After Dark.
That's what it stood for.
That's funny.
They couldn't use the title, the name, obviously, in America.
Right. See, I remember seeing this back in the day, and then I remember seeing it in the dollar bins back in the day, and I haven't seen it in years.
That would be a steal if you found one in a dollar bin today.
Yeah.
The next single that I picked was a track called Sleeping Bag by ZZ Top. I am a sucker for this stuff. I can't help it. When they started using the sequencers and things, that was like cotton candy in my brain. Really? I love this stuff. It's a kind of a silly track, isn't it? Slip inside my sleeping bag, but it's got those 80s, those samples and it's so cheesy. It's so cheesy, but I love it. And there's King Tut with those 80s shades.
Nice.
And finally, some more Canadian content for you. And this is more because of the lyrics. It's a track by Scarborough's own Bare Naked Ladies called Brian Wilson. And of course, the chorus is very famous. Lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. And of course, that's a reference to, the guy unfortunately suffered from a lot of mental illness and some drug addictions and ended up basically lying in bed for a few years, not doing too much of anything. I remember growing up and there was a Beach Boys documentary on TV. There was this guy doing his interview from bed. And I was like, what the heck? Who is this guy? Why are they interviewing him in bed? It is a sad story, but it's a freaking great song, if I do say so myself. Not necessarily for the metal crowd, but great track. And there's my
you remember when?
And here's my vinyl copy.
Oh,
there, yeah.
I haven't
Killer
seen that
album
in years.
Cool.
Well, you remember Mike back in the day when Brian Wilson came on Saturday Night Live, and Belushi and Aykroyd put him in the Highway State Patrol car, and they drove him to the beach and said, "Mr. Wilson, you have to surf." Made Brian go out and surf. And
I remember that.
He didn't want to do that.
No.
Nice. All right, so we've got a mention for Prince, Dream Factory, and Dreamer songs. Henry Wright mentions we've got Novo Combo, D-Rocker, The Animation Generation. DAD is big in Sweden, says Randy Joy. Maury comes back with Swallow the Sun. The Morning Never Came, great doom band, right? We've got New England, Explorer Suite. Love those guys, still play those guys all the time. Ian Gillan Band, Sleeping on the Job. I bought the single of that, came with a patch when it first came out. That was really cool. Honeymoon Suite. Yeah, Honeymoon Suite. That's a good one as well. What is it? Sleep Tonight, deep track off of Rolling Stone's Dirty Work album. says Amadeo. What else? Spirit, 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus, says Henry Wright. Billy Joel, River of Dreams. Wow, there's a lot of them, eh? A lot of them out there. Again. Bill Nelson, Quit Dreaming and Get on the Beam. Yeah, bunch of cool ones coming in. Over to Johnny.
Okie doke. All right, let's go a little Avenged Sevenfold, shall we? With Nightmare. Let's see.
I'm getting there.
Sorry, I don't have my hard copy on that one, but yeah, I kind of went more for the dreams aspect of a lot of my stuff instead of actual sleeping. But let's see. Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good nightmarish cover for you.
Oh my God, it's
that poor girl don't want to go to sleep.
No.
All right. Portnoy's on that one, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe so. I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, next one. I think I mentioned this band last week, but let's go with another Death Angel album. This one's more of an image, I guess. The Dream Calls for Blood. That's again a bit of a nightmarish image there. I guess maybe you got some skulls there, so maybe it's an after battle thing you can look at. I don't know.
Are those wolves wearing skulls as helmets?
I think so. Yeah, they were known for some pretty vivid covers here by this point. All right, and then my last pick here. Let's talk a little Jeff Scott Soto with Wide Awake in Dreamland. So yeah, what's that? I guess that's yeah. Wide Awake
what
in
happened
Dreamland.
to Jeff is what I want.
I don't know. I don't know if that's like him getting his head like crushed or part Thanos. I don't know exactly what's going on there.
Doesn't look comfortable.
No, it doesn't look very comfortable at all. It looks like kind of looks like that Avenged Sevenfold album cover, more like a nightmare. But yeah.
Well,
there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
It is.
Well, my next three, I've got first, I've got Annihilator, Alice in Hell. Pretty weird. I've interviewed Jeff Waters a few times, never met him in person, even though he's from Ottawa, right? It doesn't seem to come here that often, I don't think. But anyways, there you go. That's obviously a perfect one. Looks kind of like a Dream Theater album cover, I suppose. And that was about as famous as he ever got, I suppose, right? With that record, unfortunately. But yeah, remember there was the time when he almost joined Megadeth as well. I think a lot of guitarists can say that, though. Next, I've got Low Hanging Fruit with Pink Floyd, A Momentary Lapse of Reason, with all the beds put out, and they were literally all put out. This is, I think this was Storm Thorgerson when he was on his own and there was no more Hypnosis. But he was still doing stuff. So this was literally done. And I believe how the story went, you correct me if I'm wrong, but they put them all out and they didn't. And then there was rain or something, the weather, they had to haul them all back in and then put them all back out another time to get the shot. Something like that happened. And then finally, I've got Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. So second instance of Hounds for me here. So we've got her lying down on a bed with the dogs, just like the Hounds album. But I took out a bunch from my box set. We've got, where's my camera there? Kate, the Dreaming as well. More in the title, but still kind of like it looks like it might be a sequence from a dream. And then Lionheart, up in the attic, presumably an attic bedroom. And then Never Forever, also kind of a dreamy psychedelic sort of look. And then on the back, she's the bat wings thing. So all of these kind of apply with her to some extent. Pretty cool, mysterious album covers. So those are my three. Let's look at the comments here. We've got D Rocker bringing up Magnum Vigilante or Chase the Dragon. We've got Moon Age Daydream, Bowie. TMC brings up Candlemass Nightfall. Yeah, that's a good one. Great cover. Moody Blues, Wildest Dreams. Yeah, a lot of them. Deicide, Dead But Dreaming. Camel, Rain Dances, says D Rocker. Maureen brings up Imagine, John Lennon. Yeah, definitely. That's a pretty cool one. Yeah, bunch of them. Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, says Gary Joyce. Chilliwack, Dreams. Ted Nugent, Scream Dream. Definitely not a very dreamy looking album cover, though. But yeah, a lot have the word dream in them, don't they? A lot of that happened. All right, so over to Jamie.
I was trying to find my 45 for Dream Warriors. by Dawkins. I can't
Oh
find
yeah.
it. I
Oh
don't know
no.
where. All right, this one, Moody Blues, On the Threshold of a Dream, which is very weird and dreamlike, kind of like a nightmare with the tree with the eye and little wizard guy. And I don't know what this robot is.
I don't really
could
know what
be
it is.
their great computer, which they say in the beginning, the first song there. Somebody already mentioned this. Stupid album cover, River of Dreams, with Billy Joel with all the river going through his head. Did his wife do that?
I think
Something
Christy
like that,
Brinkley
yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. All right, my next ones, are there 5 left? I think 5. Are female artists I might have dreamt about throughout my life, younger days.
No.
First one, he's going to talk about Pat Benatar. Here's the thing with my dreams when Pat Benatar shows up, and she has for 40 years, about once a year. We're always just hanging out. We're just like being buddies. There's nothing weird going on. We're always just hanging out. And in the dream, I feel like I'm awake and like it's not a dream. And I'm like going, yeah, we are buddies. This isn't a dream. This is real, right? I'm not going to wake up. Then I wake up and I go, oh, fudge.
Uh-oh.
But in those dreams, you could say that I'm always wide awake in dreamland because I kind of feel awake and it's not a dream. So there's wide awake in dreamland.
Oh, there you go. I'm with you.
There you go.
I was so enthralled by that story that
my next one, when I was in 8th grade and 9th grade, my number 2 behind Pat Benatar was Stevie Nicks. Loved me some Stevie Nicks. I still love Stevie Nicks. And she would sing to me, I'm going to show up in your dreams. And she did a few times when I was, 13,
believe it or not,
14,
that's the
being a
first
boy.
time. That's the first time I've ever seen this album in my life.
Oh, did I do more than I should have? Yeah, I only got 3 left.
Well,
all
right.
going on a roll
We'll
there.
finish up.
All right.
I get it.
Let's move on. And now the order shuffled. I don't know who's next. I think it's
I'm
Grant.
up. I'm up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went first. So this is my final 4. Okay. All right. Well, no one picked this, and most people will go, "Really? You're going to pick that?" And I'm going to pick it. Motorhead, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. And I'm surprised with this group. No one picked any Motorhead. Thank God I'm picking up and I'm the one that went last. So I'm have to get everything together. So someone mentioned this, but not this record. Someone mentioned John Lennon Imagine in the chat, but we're going to go with John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Unfinished. What is this? Unfinished. Oh.
Business?
No, Unfinished. God, I can't remember the name of the album cover. But this is like when they were doing the wedding album and 2 Virgins, and they would just basically sit around with a recorder and make noise. So this is like the third, I guess technically it'd be the 3rd record that they did. It's just really a bunch of noise. But this was after Yoko had her miscarriage, and hey, we haven't had enough Yoko on this channel, so I figured we might as well start today. So that's my next one. My number 8, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati band that I'm not a big fan of, Afghan Wigs. Greg Dooley. I told this story before. They opened for Afghan Wigs. Opened for who did they open for? Oh, Teenage Fan Club at the Newport. And Greg Dooley was like drunk or something. He was just the biggest jerk. And then he went up and played with Teenage Fan Club, and that he didn't add anything to it. It was a horrible show. I think I left early because it was on paper, it looked good, but it was just bad. But anyway, the album cover does check that box. So I'm going to go with that. Now, my final one I'm going to go with is The Great Album by Alan Franklin. Now, you guys don't know Alan Franklin. I know Jamie has to have this in his catalog. Come Home Baby by the great Alan Franklin from 1980.
Nice.
It's got all of his best songs. You remember the hits that he had. I'm sure the panel knows. But there you go. He's hanging out in bed. I'm not sure what that magazine is, but probably should just leave it there. So there you go. There's my number 10.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to sleep after seeing that.
You should see the back cover. I almost
don't want
pulled
to.
it. It's got him hanging out. Evidently, he was in Florida. He's from Florida, so that might say a lot. And it's him in like little Speedos hanging out in the trees. It's very bizarre. I just happened to stumble across it. But there you go.
Nice. My mind's still racing from when you said we were talking about the John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and you said, I can't remember the name of that album cover. I thought John Lennon would be the type of guy to name his album cover. And then
I think it's Two Lions. Unfinished music, Two Lions.
I'm thinking along the lines of why hasn't any one of these cheeky bands named their album cover and then called the album something else? That would have been a cool thing, right? That sounds like something John Lennon would do, or Mike Patton maybe.
Mike Patton, definitely.
Or
they just could have went with Come Home Baby.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Mike Lodano is next.
You want me to go next? Okay.
Yeah,
actually, hang on. Let's check the comments here. It's been a little while. We got Ozzy Osbourne, So Tired, says Lawrence Fine. We got Dream On, Aerosmith. We've got Tokens, Lion Sleeps Tonight. Sheer Heart Attack has Queen all lying down. Yeah, I thought about that one. Lighthouse, One Fine Morning. Juliana Hatfield Bed, says Sean Barnes. Nice one. Brainstorm, Midnight Ghost, says David Marshall. Logan Collins says, I fall asleep to Metal Machine music every night.
I believe that.
Very cool. Yeah, Death Angel, The Dream Calls for Blood, mentioned again here. Millennium Hourglass. Helix, yeah, we got that one before. Heart, Dreamboat Annie, yeah, good dreamy album cover there. Obscured by Clouds is a good dreamy album cover. All right, on to Michael.
All right.
Well, alrighty then. Let's do an artist. I'm actually not a fan of her, but she's huge, and that's Billie Eilish. And she has an album called When We All Fall Asleep, comma, Where Do We Go? Question mark. I love punctuation in album titles. I find that album cover so creepy. She's got like her eyes rolled up so you can just see the whites, and I don't know. I just find that album cover so creepy. That's a nightmare to me. But again, you can't deny her influence. She's absolutely huge. My good buddy Uncle Meat brought up Marillion Fugazi, and in this album cover by Mark Wilkinson, who's done some numerous Iron Maidens and Judas Priest, you can see the Marillion mascot character, the Jester. He's disheveled in bed. There's a whole bunch of visual clues all around here that refer to other songs and albums. The Magpie, the Chameleon. It's really everything Mark Wilkinson did with that band is really quite magnificent to look at. And I wouldn't mind getting all of them on vinyl at some point just to look at them. I'm surprised. I don't think this one's come up yet, but Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. And there she is. She's getting dressed, getting ready to go out on the town late at night, I guess. And there's a bed. And that's about all there is to it. There's no other reason why I picked it. There's a bed. But the bed is kind of the main feature of this last one, which is Honeymoon Suite. There you go. Now that is not a bed that I want to be sleeping in.
But a great album cover, though.
Great album cover. I love this band. Niagara Falls, Ontario. And I believe that is their debut, as Peter Kerr might say. So there you go. There's my final four.
Very cool.
All right.
All right.
That's Johnny Metal's
back to me. Okay, so my first go around on this one is a Boston thrash band that this one came out in 2006. I guess you could call this more of a dreamy look about it. Malaya Rage, The Deep and Dreamless Sleep. I don't know. That's kind of a dreamy looking area there. It looks like something out of the Lord of the Rings, I guess. But I don't know. Looks
like some of the fog made it over here.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it is. So there you go. So that's a good album to check out for those who. A band that just got a lot of start and stops. They just never had a consistent run. Unfortunately, they had a couple of great first albums, but they just never got cooking after that. Anyway, okay, my next one. This one we go to a post-op room, and we go with the Resurrection Band with Ampendectomy. And so you have the singer, guitar player, leader of the band, Glenn Kaiser. And he just woke up from surgery and he had his amplifier removed.
He had his Marshall removed. And so this was a creative way of doing an unplugged CD.
So of some of their known songs. So yeah, there you go. That's a great album, fun band too.
Yeah, when I pulled that, I really did chuckle. I just when I wasn't expecting it, and I went, "Oh look."
Yeah, you got to come up with an odd one once in a while. Okay.
You know what, Johnny? There's an additional layer of funny to that, which is the look on his face. Like he didn't know that they were taking that out. He woke up and it's like, what? Yeah. They took it out?
Yep, exactly. You gotta love that. It's like they put the right X on what you're operating on, but they operate on the wrong side or something. So anyway. All right. I would be remiss if I didn't say something about Robert Plant's Dreamland album. Of course, having joined Martin for his Pictures at 11 book. Gotta give a plug for that album, which was one of the ones I got to take part in, which was mostly a covers album, but still a pretty good album because a lot of those songs I had never actually heard from before. So that was some of those songs was actually the first time I'd heard. So it was a good album. So I was glad to take part in that, Martin. Thank you again. Yeah. And then my last one. Let's go a little old prog, shall we? How about a little Genesis, Selling England by the Pound?
Yeah.
You got the guy sleeping on the park bench there, and all the maids all the ladies just checking around. I don't know what the hell's going on, but yeah. There you go.
Johnny, I thought about Genesis, and there were so many that had that dreamy look, right? I mean, Trespass, Wind and Wuthering, definitely. Even A Trick of the Tail looks like, that's a dream in sequence going by. Lamb Lies Down looks like a dream, right? So they're all kind of like that, right?
They all kind of have that kind of vibe and feel.
All of them. Even the later ones, Genesis just looks like, counting shapes in your head kind of thing. So... All right. So my final four, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're up to? Okay. So first one I've got is Elvis Costello and the Attractions Imperial Bedroom. Now I really went with this one just because of the title. But what led me to Elvis at all, to think about him, was the great Barney Bubbles. I've got this awesome Barney Bubbles book, and he's in here. He did this. That's a painting of his, and he goes by a pseudonym for that. But what got me to Barney Bubbles was I was thinking of the Hawkwind stuff, which he did earlier. Sadly, we lost Barney to suicide. But the Damned Music for Pleasure to me really looks like a dreamy sequence, kind of a nightmarish thing, and on the back with all the superimposed faces. But yeah, Barney was just this very kind of graphic sort of guy. That's actually a painting of his, but he did a lot of Ian Dury, Elvis Costello, the Damned, and like I say, he started with Hawkwind, so that was really cool. Next, I've got Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, One Size Fits All, with the couch there, and then the cigar where you think of burning a hole in the couch and burning the place down, but around you got the nighttime scenes and the moon and all that and the planets. So it's definitely got a sleeping on the couch feel to it. Next, I've got Dream Theater, Images and Words, the great first album with James LaBrie, and a big hit for them. But yeah, definitely just like I say, it kind of looks like the Alice in Hell album cover in a way. And finally, I've got Cheap Trick, Dream Police, where they're coming to you. The Dream Police are coming to you in your bed, and then there they are off duty, not in their Dream Police uniforms. But what do we got on the inside on this again? Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, so this has got
police lineup.
Yeah, the police lineup there. So yeah, that's a perfect one, definitely, and the song kind of fits as well. So that is my final four.
All right. Is that it?
Jamie's
got more. He's got me all combobulated. He's just going to town. All right.
I think he's got three more, right, Jamie?
Yes, I got three more.
Do it.
Three ladies left. All right, this next one. Now, there are hot girls out there. There are pretty girls out there. There's cute girls out there. There's elegant girls out there. Right. And then you just have sometimes sexy women. And I would say Tina Turner is a sexy woman. You can't put your finger on it. You just know she's a sexy woman. And she could have been part of my wildest dreams anytime. Well, there's two different covers, is there?
There's different covers, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that one's the only one I ever knew right there, where she's showing a little leg. And I think she was like well past 55 on that album. If you do the math, she must have been my age probably right now. When I was 10 years old, I had a big crush on Crystal Gale. And I could say, when I dream, I dream of Crystal Gale. Right there. I used to love that centerfold. Used to listen to the record and just look at that.
I know he's brought this record up before somewhere.
Yes, I did.
know
I
you
brought
have.
up the centerfold.
How did she do numbers wise? I should look her. I mean, anybody know any golds and platinums with her?
Oh yeah, she
don't big, right?
Don't make my brown eyes blue, and she had all kinds of hits.
She was pretty big in the late 70s or mid.
I'm gonna look her up right now. Hang on.
Was she the one that was famous for her long hair?
Yeah.
Loretta Lynn's sister.
Okay.
Loretta Lynn's hot sister.
My uncle had her records.
There it is.
All right, you want me to keep talking, Martin, or you want to
keep going?
I'm going to give you a quick treatise here. So, first 3 albums don't certify. Then she has a platinum album with "We Must Believe in Magic" '77. And then she has another platinum with "When I Dream." And then next one doesn't certify. Then she has 2 more golds: "Miss the Mississippi" in '79 and "These Days" in '80. So she did quite well. And then you always got to check the compilations for another one, and she does. Classic Crystal went gold, and Crystal Gale's Greatest Hits from '83 went gold, and then none of her live albums seem to have certified. Yeah, she did. She did pretty darn good. Excellent.
She did all right.
Yeah.
So I worked at National Record Mart downtown Pittsburgh in 1989/90. And I remember we were all hanging out by the cash register, me and my buddies, and it was kind of slow. And the promoters would come in and they would put posters up on the wall and, to promote an album. And they came up, we were right by the register. It was a pretty big store. Right to our left, they started putting up this poster. And when they put it up, all us guys were like, I don't know who that is, but holy cow, is she beautiful. And this was the poster they put up of Mariah Carey. We never heard of her before. She was right around the corner from being a big star. So we all used to, as long as that poster was by the register, we all just used to sit there by the register, look at that poster, and daydream. So there. See, I got some stories for you on a couple of them.
Very cool. All right, so yeah, let's take another just last look over here. We've got Earthside, A Dream and Statics as TMC. We've got Enter Sandman, Sleep with One Eye Open. Yeah, good one. David Bowie Hours. Yeah, that's a good dreamy album. I love that album, man. That's my favorite later period David Bowie album. You're not supposed to like that one, but I like it because it's very mellow and accessible, acoustic and stuff. The Nails, Dangerous Dreams. We've got Metallica, 72 Seasons. There's a good one with The Crib. Meshuggah, The Violent Sleep of Reason. Dawkins, In My Dreams. Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. Asia, Wildest Dreams. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Dream Syndicate.
A lot of dream.
These Times. Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush, World Anthem. Yep, that's a good dreamy looking one. Very cool. All right. Wrap her up, Grant.
All right, I guess we're done.
Yep.
Record time, 43 minutes.
Good.
All right. So, hey, I just want to say, God, I feel I'm like with Martin here doing it. I feel like I'm so used to doing it the other way that I'm like, it's like I got to retrain myself. First of all, I want to thank the panel, Johnny Metal, Martin, of course, Jamie and Michael Lodano. If you'd like to be on these panels, we'd love to have you. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel that way, we have a Ko-fi. Buy us a pint or a cup of coffee. We'd love that. We have merch down below. Get yourself a shirt. It's the holiday season. Get someone in your family a Contrarian shirt.
Yeah, get the wife a Contrarian shirt.
Yeah, she needs.
She can open and say, "What the hell is the Contrarian?"
Right. Spread the
show I watch, John.
But yeah, more stuff. Of course, we'll be at. Well, actually, Jamie, Martin, and I'll be at Sea of Tranquility Fest, so things might be slowing down around here until next week. So
Newburgh, New York, all day Saturday, basically, right? Yeah, the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what time things start up though, but I don't know.
I can't remember. I thought it was noonish, maybe.
Yeah, but not at the warehouse. At a place a few blocks away.
All right.
And then go to the warehouse later.
Does Pete give us a itinerary, or do we just kind of? I don't know.
Yeah, you'll know when you get there.
All right.
All right. Cool. All right, everybody. Well, so bear with us. Might not be putting out much content, but we'll have a lot more content next week. So heck, we might be able to record some stuff there. We almost should do a live show from there. I don't know. Anyway, I'll come up with something. All right, everybody. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you next time. Martin's back. A lot more content
Thanks, guys.
coming up. All right. See you, everybody.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.